peered through the rain at the dumpsters and the scattered garbage. Nothing happened. We had plenty of backup watching the front of the restaurant. We had heavy weapons guys coming in. The helicopter could stay up there all night if it needed to. I tried to relax. "SWAT's moving," Webster told me. He replaced his radio handset. The dumpster, in the alley, shifted an inch, like some homeless guy inside had rolled over in his sleep. Both of us froze for a second, long enough to be sure we'd both seen it. I brought my weapon up and tested the action. I was loading JHPs for maximal tissue damage, and I had sighted in the pistol myself. If I could have gotten my gun blessed by a priest, I would have. There was no way this psychopath was walking away tonight. "Special Deputy Arkeley, maybe we should back off and let SWAT negotiate with him," Webster told me. His using my official title meant he wanted to go on the record as doing everything possible to avoid a violent takedown. Covering his ass. We both knew there was no chance of theirs coming peacefully. "Yeah, you're probably right," I said, my nerves all twisted up. "Yeah." I eased my grip on the pistol and kicked angrily at the floorboards. The dumpster came apart in pieces and a white blur launched itself out of the alley. It collided with our car hard enough to knock us up onto two wheels. My door caved in and pinned my arm to my side, trapping my weapon. Webster grabbed for his own handgun even as the car fell back to the road surface, throwing us both up against our seatbelts, knocking the wind out of me. Webster reached across me and discharged his weapon 3 times. I could feel my face and hands burning with spent powder. I could smell cordite and nothing else. I was deaf for a good 30 seconds. My window exploded outwards, but a few tiny cubes of glass danced and spun in my lap. I turned my head sideways, feeling like I was trapped in molten glass. I could see everything normally, but I could barely move. Framed perfectly in the shattered safety glass was Lares's grinning, torn-up face. Rain was washing the blood off his mouth, but it didn't improve his looks. His glasses were ruined, twisted arms of tortoiseshell and cobwebbed lenses. At least one of Webster's shots had gone in through Lares's right eye. The white jelly inside had burst outward, and I could see red bone in the socket. The other 2 bullets had gone into the side of his nose and his right cheek. The wounds were horrible, bloody, and definitely fatal. As I watched, they undid themselves. It was like when you run over one of those shatterproof trash cans and it slowly but surely undents itself, returning to its former shape in seconds. A puff of white smoke in Lares's vacant eye socket solidified, plumped out into a brand-new eyeball. The wound in his nose shrank away to nothing, and the one in his cheek might as well have been a trick of the light. Like a shadow, it just disappeared. When he was whole and clean again, he slowly removed the broken glasses from his face and threw them over his shoulder. Then he opened his mouth and grinned. Every one of his teeth was sharpened to a point. It wasn't like in the movies at all. It looked more like the mouth of a shark, with row after row of tiny knives embedded in his gums. He gave us a good long look at his mouth, and then he jumped over our car. I could hear his feet beating on the roof, and he was all at once on the other side. He hit the ground running toward Liberty Avenue. The SWAT team arrived at the corner before he did, sliding out of an armored van, 4 agents carrying MP5s. They wore full helmets and riot armor, but it wasn't standard issue. Their commanding officer had insisted I give them a chance to modify their kit. We all knew what we were getting into, he told me. We'd all seen plenty of movies before. So the SWAT guys had crucifixes hot glued all over them. Everything they could get, from big carved wood Roman Catholic